Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. I am here with Keith from Love Locked Season 1. Listen, I know the show was one of those bonanzas. There was a lot of things going on. There was matchmaking, dating, relationship stuff all across the board. And so I have the honor of sitting down with Keith. How you doing today, Keith?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
No worries at all, Captain. No worries at all, man. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you off the screen because obviously we saw you on the show. We saw the deep connections you were making. I'm not going to spoil it as to what happened in the end, but you was a very, very important character on the show. But how's your week going so far, anyway?
My week is going great. Just staying productive. Working on a couple things, couple projects that I have going on. So yeah, I'm just staying as busy as possible.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Well, before we get into the conversation and into the show as well, we like to do a thing called a human verification. So I've just got a few questions for you. My first question for you, Keith, is Mercedes-Benz, Audi, BMW. Which one would you choose?
I got a Benz, so I gotta go with a Benz.
Jeez.
Yeah,
man, on a Benz,
I like how they ride, real smooth. I like the makes of Mercedes. I've always wanted one. So yeah.
What color you have on the Benz?
I have a black one.
You have a black one too?
Yeah, black one.
This guy's a dangerous guy, bro. Dangerous guy. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Second question: cereal or milk in the bowl first?
Cereal milk. Oh, cereal in the bowl for sure. You got to put the cereal before the milk. You can't. You gotta. Pretty much the cereal is what you want. So the milk is just just a little extra added flavor to it. So cereal first for sure.
Do you have a favorite cereal?
Yeah, Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles. I like Captain Crunch too, but Captain Crunch is like they kind of mess up the inside of your teeth. So, kind of you got to limit that.
I hear you, bro. On that, fam. All right, third and final question we are asking, bro. You got chicken, you got rice, you got plantain, you got potato salad, coleslaw, a little bit of mac and cheese. Which one do you eat first?
I'd probably go with the rice, then ease in the chicken, gradually. And then I don't really eat coleslaw. Okay. So yeah. But yeah, I say the rice first,
Rice first.
Get the protein in.
Okay, cool. No worries, Captain. You've passed the human verification.
Carbs.
We know you're human, bro. We know you're human. Yeah. Can never know, man. You might be a hologram. All right, cool. Let's jump into the conversation. Look, before we get into the show, we like to get to know the person in front of us. I know you as Keith, but we know you as Keith on Love Locked. We want to know Keith before the show, after the show. So I like to ask this open-ended question. Keith, what is your story and who are you?
What is my story? Well, I'm from Pasadena, California, born and raised, the West Side, real urban area, predominantly Black and Latino. It was pretty rough growing up, not too much as far as, where I got to watch my surroundings, but the surrounding, it was a lot going on. So, just typical, urban, inner city kid stuff going on, just being bad little kids running around, staying in sports. I played football and basketball. Moms and pops had me in all type of sports. I ran track. So, it was real family oriented. Spent a lot of time with my family. All of us lived in Pasadena. So, just real humble beginnings. Church kid every Sunday. I had no choice but to go to church. So yeah, I got a taste of a little bit of everything, athletics, the religious side, and then just the fun side, being a kid growing up in the city.
Love that. Okay, so it's like you said, you grew up in an area where it can be a little bit, some way. How did you navigate that then? How did you kind of navigate those passages and those difficulties that you were maybe seeing in your neighborhood or area that you were in?
My pops, my uncles, they all went through, they trials and tribulations growing up. I don't want to put their business out there, but they experienced a lot in their life, and they pretty much guided me in the right direction. Especially my pops. That's why they kept me in sports, because I could have easily, been in another path. You know, it's a lot of gangs and all type of stuff where I'm from. So yeah, just my parents, my family, you know, we was real close growing up, uncles, everything. So I just think that they mistakes help guide me as a person, as a man, you know.
Love that. And then I love the fact you keep speaking about your, pops as well. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with your dad. Like, how was that like? You know, because it's not often we get a lot of men on the show, but we also get a lot of men who don't have that relationship. So it's good
Right.
to hear, you know.
Right. Me and my dad, you know, he was always in my life. You know, I was blessed to have both parents, you know, never separated, one household. So, you know, he instilled a lot in me, you know, early on. You know, he kept me in sports, kept me fed, clothed. You know, of course, your mom, she's more the softer side, you know, the where you need empathy and, you know, somebody you can cry to. You know, I never really had that type of relationship with my pops, but me and my pops was always close, you know. And you know, he just kept me on the right path. You know, he made, like I said, he made his mistakes, and he made sure that I didn't have to go through those same mistakes he went through. He really guided me through life. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, having your dad in your life is one of those blessings that I think until you go out into the big bad world, you don't sometimes appreciate the fact that you have a father figure who loves and cares for you and supports you and wants the best for you as well. So that's good to hear as well. I mean, give us one lesson that your dad taught you that has stuck with you. Give us one lesson that your dad's taught you and you thought, yeah, that stuck with me.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you this one time. This like typical, you know, like hood type, you know, story. Okay, so it was one time, you know, me and my cousin, you know, we was at the park playing basketball, you know, and at the time, my cousin, I was like maybe I want to say like 9 years old. I want to say. So my cousin, you know, he gets into it with, you know, two other, you know, adolescents at the time, you know. So, you know, we walk home, the kids, you know, the teenagers at the time, you know, got into a confrontation, you know, with my cousin. And you know, some blows were thrown. So me as a kid, you know, I run in the house. I get my dad, you know, coming there, run them off. So I'm acting big and bad, you know, once my dad come. But my dad, you know, he taught me a lesson. He like, look, you never supposed to leave your family behind. Never leave anybody that you're supposed to be with behind. You know, that's key. You know, no matter how small you are, you're supposed to stand there with anybody you come through. And I stuck, you know, any situation I ever been in from that point on, I always make sure that that person was safe, that I'm riding with them, and, you know, everybody is good, you know, before I go run it somewhere else. We'll figure that out later on what happened, you know. So that was a valuable life lesson, you know, to stand my ground and just, you know, be be a loyal friend and relative, you know.
Yeah, that's deep, man. That's a really good lesson as well, and I think it just highlights as well the importance of having parental figures, not just a dad, but parental figures, because like you said, it just took one moment for him to speak that into your life to that to be a life lesson that you stick by. So it just
Right,
shows, how important it is to have people who are, who love you and care for you, who are caregivers, to just
right,
speak life into your situation because it makes
right.
a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I was to talk to your one of your friends, maybe your best friend, maybe let's say, what's the 5 things they would say about you? 5 things they would say about you.
5 things. Selfless. They would
Mm,
definitely say I'm selfless. I always look out for others before myself. And that's like a gift and a curse. Spontaneous. I'm always that friend. It's like hitting you up, you know, any given time, like get the whole group together, like, hey, let's go to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like just randomly. Motivational. I always make sure I motivate all my homies, all my friends. Because I like to see people succeed, you know. I feel like we all got the same 24 hours, and you know, if you're going through it, you know, you need somebody to help you motivate and get you past tough times. Um, I would say they would say that I'm silly. You know, I'm always cracking jokes, so you gotta have a sense of humor around me because you know we go in with the roasting and you know bagging on each other. So definitely a sense of humor, funny. And I would say for fifth, loyal. You know, I always
mm,
stay true to my friends. You know, I've never had any bad. homie experiences, no bad friend experiences. Nobody can, say anything bad about me. We never had no breakups. I can hit up any of my homies that I grew up with to this day, and they'll all hit me back. So loyalty. Yeah.
I love that, bro. Love that. And if I was then to talk to an ex-girlfriend, what's what's three things they would say about Keith? Just three.
Three things. I would say, loyal. I never cheated. While in a relationship, I've never cheated one time.
Damn.
Yeah, I can hit up any of my exes if I wanted to, and be good. Just because they know it was no disloyalty going on. I would say three things as far as like me in a relationship, or like my personal traits.
Maybe you. Let's say you in a relationship. That's good.
Me in a relationship. I would say I can be a little romantic at times.
Come on now.
I could be a little romantic at times. But you got to get me to that point though. I can't really say that I just start off like that. Something that has to gradually happen to where I plan dates and give the flowers and stuff like that. Plan dinners, trips. I'll do that type of stuff. If we get to that point, I'm definitely romantic. And the third one, I would say empathetic. And I wear my heart on my sleeve. They know with me, I'm not holding nothing back. If I'm feeling something, then it's gonna be known, and we not gonna move on until we get it resolved. So yeah, I wear my heart on my sleeve. So I'm definitely open, and any of my exes can say I'm very open, and I would definitely express how I feel. I'm not gonna hold it in, and yeah.
Love that. So for you, then, obviously, I know you've mentioned a few times about loyalty. Being one of your strongest traits as well. How did loyalty have an impact then? Because I know you said you did sports, right?
Right.
Right. Did you do college football? Did you do college football?
Nah, you know what? I didn't get to the college route. I kind of like grew out of the love for football, at that point. So I didn't get to the college part. Yeah.
Okay. Which sport did you prefer?
Football, for sure.
Football, for sure.
Yeah. A lot of things happened with the football situation as to why I grew out of love with that. But yeah, football over basketball. But I've done, I played all sports growing up. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you don't share every single detail of why you grew out of football, but what was the reason for football not being the route that you chose in the end?
I grew a love for music.
Mm.
I started when I was 10. I went to a studio. My mom had took me to a recording studio. And from that, I started gradually growing. And then when I got to high school, I did a little album, right? And I had brought it to my high school, and everybody was bumping my music in high school. And I was like, man, I like doing this, And from that point on, once things went down with football, because I got kicked off the football team my senior year in high school.
Wow.
And when that happened, I was just fully focused on music the full time, and I just grew to love that.
Man, what does music mean to you?
Music is everything to me. I know every aspect of it. I learned how to produce. I learned how to engineer. I invested in my own equipment. I had my own studio before. Music is everything. It's therapeutic. I can write with just getting my thoughts out. Sometimes I just write when I'm going through something. It's a great stress reliever. I love music. Music is everything.
I love that, man. Music is because I'm more of a dancer than
Yeah.
composing side. You know what I mean? So I see the power of music and how it really does have an influence on every individual who hears it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's crazy. So you're involved with the produce. You can do producing, you can do engineering, you can do. I'm guessing it plays a few instruments as well. So I mean, is that now more? Is that now your focus now, music, or is that something that you do a bit more on the side per se now?
It was my focus at one point, but now that I'm a little older, it's more like kind of like not as fully into it. I'm more
Mm.
so, you know, like I said, I could do everything. You know, I learned how to shoot videos as well. So now I'm more
Wow.
behind the camera, behind the scenes. You know, I do a lot of videography work for artists. So now I'm like more focused on trying to help artists, you know, as much as possible, getting visuals done, you know, and just on that aspect, something in the entertainment world is what I always wanted to be, even if it wasn't for music. But yeah, music kind of took a backseat.
Wow. So what do you spend most of your time doing now then in these day and ages? What do you spend most of your time doing?
Creating videography. I'll shoot a lot of music videos for upcoming artists that people that may not know who they are, myself included, and I get tapped in and in tune with them. They send me a song over, you know, we work it out. I do it at affordable prices because I know, you know, when I started out how hard it was, but I know visuals are very important. So I spend a lot of time, you know, with visuals, and also into fitness. So, you know, I've been working on a line that I have coming out soon. Uh, I'm pretty much got my hand in everything right now. You know, any way to make money. You know, different streams of revenue.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Since you're kind of a musician, let me hum something and see if you know the song. Do 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 do.
Hey, it sounds familiar, but I can't. I can't pinpoint it right now.
Don't worry, it'll come to you. It'll come to you later on. So I want to ask you a question to lead on to our next subject. Describe how dating has been in the last few years through a song.
From a song.
Yeah, you don't have to sing it or anything. Just give us a song to describe how your dating life has been in the last few years. Something
Uh,
that encapsulates it.
sheesh. That's a toughie on the spot to just to think of something how dating life has been. A song that describes my dating life.
Mm.
Sheesh. You know what? I honestly can't think of anything off the top of my head. I will have to like just come back. It'll come to me, you know, rather
That's
than
cool.
spot with it. Yeah, I could definitely think of something if I have my playlist, you know, on my Spotify.
Mm. What are you bumping right now on your Spotify? What song would you say you're bumping hard on your Spotify right now?
I listen to a lot of R&B. I had just man, it's this one artist that I just came across, and I cannot think of his name right now. But I listen to a lot of R&B. I listen to Tory Lanez a lot. Of course, Drake, Eric Bellinger. Let me see. Then I listen to a lot of old school R&B too. Life Jennings, Tyrese, um, Keith Sweat. You know, I listen to a lot of music. Honestly, mostly R&B. Like R&B is my go-to. It's like that's what I ride to most of the time.
Mm. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about relationship segment now. We want to know a little bit about Keith, how you've been in the last few years in relationships. Get a bit more understanding of what the dating scene has been like for you. So yeah, give us a little insight. How's the last few years in dating been like? I know pandemic's been in the middle of that, but what's the dating scene been like for you? What's your experience has been like in the dating scene?
Man, honestly, dating has been hard, and I feel like it has a lot to do with social media, which is why I try, this dating show, something unconventional that's not traditional,
Mm.
I never have like issues or problems getting women, that's never been an issue. I feel like my issue with dating nowadays is just keeping somebody's attention, I feel like
Mm.
the memes that you see on like Instagram of women wanting something serious is a false narrative. A lot of women, will go for somebody that got hundreds of thousands of followers, verified blue check marks versus somebody that's just real down to earth, hard working, ambitious. And I come across that a lot. Like it's easy to like keep it PG. It's easy to come across a woman and you could just sleep with her versus coming across a woman that genuinely wants to be with you and connect with you and grow with you and vibe with you. And that's just the experiences that I can speak on as far as myself. It's hard coming across a girl that's really willing to connect and putting that work nowadays.
Interesting term. So obviously it's hard to come across a woman that, kind of puts in that work. What would you say that you're looking for in the opposite sex then? What is it? What are the qualities you're actually looking for?
There's somebody this wants. You know what? I think it's also, before I tackle that question, I think it's also has to do with where I live. Southern California. A lot of women, in California, have it fairly easy to where they can get multiple men doing whatever they want, and so forth. So I think it's also where I live. I don't think all women are like that, but what I look for. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, as in what are you looking for in the opposite sex? What are you looking for in terms of qualities?
A friend. I definitely would love a friend. Someone that I can have a good time with and not always look at you as my girl.
Mm,
Something that we can just enjoy moments, have good time, and not argue. Somebody that's ambitious as me. Because I feel like if I go up and you go up and we both go up, it's like you got to have somebody to help you during all the hard times and good times. And I would say I'm looking for somebody that's um, I would say feminine. It's a lot of women nowadays. That's real masculine. They have a lot of masculine.
say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. My brother's internet must have gone kubudazis. Damn, internet boys even matters. Hey yo, he'll come back, man, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying. Yo, the picture's mad too, fam. Look at the picture that he's got there, fam. Man, just like he's in mid complaint, bro. It's mad. It's mad. It's mad. The internet is going school wolf. He'll come back. He'll come back. Um, I hope you guys are enjoying the interview. Scooter Wolf. Yeah, but we were just getting into the conversation, like I wanted to find out a little bit more about, kind of the qualities, he likes, and I hope you ladies are kind of enjoying this. We've got all the man them, we've got one more today as well. We've got Makai later on in about 3 hours time as well. D'Souza, you are bad. uh yes, Cap. Sorry about that, Cap. I know internet plays up. No worries, Cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. It happens like that, bro. Yeah, we'll just talking about, you were just explaining some of the qualities that you like, you're looking for in a woman. You said obviously, and I think the last note you ended on is that a lot of women these days have a lot of masculine energy, and we'll kind of explain that a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of women, salute to all the entrepreneur women out here, doing their thing. But with that comes that mentality of I don't need a man, I could do bad by myself. And I feel like, you can also have a man in your life to help you elevate as well, and vice versa, but that's not what we get nowadays. I just think that a lot of women, since it's so easy for them to, get revenue by different streams, because men is just thirsting nowadays, that they feel like they don't need a man, but it's not all about money. So just masculine energy, and what was that? That's two. I said there's issues with dating nowadays.
Mm.
Then
Yeah.
I would say um oh, and it's hard to come across a woman that's moved on from their ex.
Mm.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I get it, but then I don't. I guess because I'm older now. But yeah, a lot of women, it's hard for them to move on from their ex. That emotional attachment that they have, and sadly, and if they have moved on from their ex, then men like me, are stuck in that box that they put they ex in. They automatically feel that I'm gonna do the same thing as they ex, so they bring in a baggage from the past to the future to the present. and I come across a lot of that, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't like that, but that's just my reality.
I understand, man. The more you're healed, the more you realize a lot of people are not healed. So I get it.
Right,
That's
right,
that's that's
right.
that's the truth right there. It makes a lot of sense, And like I said, obviously the dating world out there, like I said, if you're healed and you're looking, you want to make the right choices. You don't want to just get with somebody just because you fancy them or you find them good looking or they got one or two great qualities. You want to be able to be with somebody who's also as wholesome as you are. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you a question then. Obviously you're still relatively young, and I want to ask a question. So the last few years, uh, what changes have you made as a result of self development? So, like you said, obviously a lot of the ladies out there, yeah, they're not open, not ready, and all that kind of stuff. But as you've been journeying the last few years of self development, what have you learned about yourself, Keith, as you've gone through those times?
Um, I learned there was a point in time where I wasn't affectionate enough,
Mm,
so I opened up in that aspect. I remember one of my exes told me one time, like she I don't know, like I was always just focused on like just actually physically being with her. But I guess, that wasn't enough and I didn't understand it until I got older. I'm like, okay, I get it now. So I definitely worked on, opening up and being more affectionate. I opened up and understanding that, quality time is not the same thing as, being emotionally there.
mm,
Physically there is totally different. I would say I grew as a man in general because before I just didn't care, and now I do. I care about a solid relationship. In the past I really didn't care, about whether I was single or not, or hitting up my ex about if I should go to this event or something, like being considerate, if that makes sense. Like I was never a bad person, but it's certain things that I didn't think was an issue, but I found out later on that was an issue, if that makes
mm.
sense. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
being transparent and just open minded and understanding and being more empathetic, definitely.
Mm. Question from the audience said, do you think you are emotionally available at this point in time?
Definitely, definitely, and that's why I feel like it's so hard for me now because I feel like it's like my past coming to haunt me. Like it's like now that I'm ready and I'm fully engaged and trying to get to know you and be with you and build with you. It's like, damn, like they treated me like how I was acting when I was 22, 23. You
Mm.
know what I mean? But I'm definitely emotionally available and just open and ready. So. Um, yeah, man, that's something I had to grow into. I'm mature, very mature at this point, and so yeah.
Okay. So you're saying you're ready. If the
Yeah,
right one's there, you're ready to go.
most definitely, most definitely. I feel like everybody deserves somebody.
Mm.
Nobody wants to go through this life single.
Trust
Just
me.
because I can get, maybe 5 girls, 10 girls, and just have them, on call, like that gets old. That gets played out. So
Mm. That's real. I hear you on that. Okay, so then obviously then like I said, you could get the right girls, etc. You could get the girl if you needed to, blah blah blah. But then obviously you end up on Love Locked.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was that. Honestly, that was just like that was a situation. I didn't even. I just did it just to do it. Like I didn't think that they was gonna hit me back. It was like, all right, I'm single. I got this free time right now. Let me see what's going on, and it just so happened because you never know. You just never know.
Yeah,
You may find somebody on the show.
true.
I don't know how it is behind the scenes. I went in there thinking it was really people trying to date and
Mm.
be open to something serious. So I didn't look at it as at the point of, oh, this is clout, gaining followers and attention. That was gonna come naturally. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, let me try something different. You know what I mean? So
Okay. So for you then it was take a chance kind of situation,
right.
right? They hit you back. What do you think then? Once they've hit
I
you back.
I was in disbelief because truth be told, like the Shade Room posted. a little ad or flyer, you know, and it was literally like 10 minutes before the deadline, and I had my phone like how I have it now. I did my audition, and they hit me back literally like I want to say a day or the following day, just like that. And I was just like, whoa, that's crazy, to the point where I didn't believe it, you know. And it was just a surreal moment. They hit me back and just started the process, and I was there, you know, like 3-4 days later in Beverly Hills.
Wow. Okay. So it's quite a fast experience. You literally applied, boom, they hit you back. You did the audition, they hit you back. You're on the show. You're pretty much now going to be booked for the show. Okay. Run us a little bit through your mindset then. Obviously, now you're booked for the show. You're about to go, fly out, etc. Go and be filmed, dating, and everything. What's your mindset at that point then?
I didn't really have to be honest, I didn't really think too much into it. Like, okay, with Beverly, I've been to Beverly Hills plenty of times, you know. So I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with the area. You know, I didn't really take into account like how they was finna like edit it. You know, I went in there just being myself. So it's a lot of things that I didn't think about because I'm not a reality star. You know, I don't do this, you know, as a job. So it's a lot of things that I wasn't privy to prior. But for the most part, you know, everything was pretty cool. You know, I think just the editing is what kind of throws everything off that you just aren't aware of, you know. Because I was open for everything, dates, having a good time. You know, I've seen dating shows, so I was expecting everything that was gonna happen. I think behind the scenes is what really was just like, okay, this is kind of odd. I wasn't in tune and expecting certain things, you know.
When you say you weren't expecting certain things, what do you mean?
Like, okay, sometimes, you know, you may get persuaded to talk to this person, that person, or this person may feel a certain type of way, and it may not fit the narrative of the show, or you know, it's like a lot of things that goes on that a lot of people don't get to see, unfortunately. I don't want to give too much away. So,
of course, how did you cope then with those particular? Because obviously, like I said, you came there for authentic reasons. How did it feel having to have direction then at those certain points? How did that affect you?
Wait, one more time.
So I was saying, obviously, like you said, you came there for authentic reasons. You thought,
Right.
take a chance. I might find the love of my life there. Who knows? Take a risk. Then, obviously, like you said, when you see the behind stuff, some of the things that do happen, how does that affect your mentality then?
Oh, I was drained. I was emotionally drained. I'm not gonna front. The last 2 days that we were there, I was
Bro, I'm not
going
gonna lie to
through
you.
it.
Yeah, I could
I
see
was
the
going
last
through it.
episode.
Yeah, and you can see it in my confessionals. Like I just was not into it. Like I was just really a lot of them I feel didn't go through the same things that I did. You know, as far as I was really emotionally drained at that point. I was ready to go. I didn't care if I got voted off. It was just too much. You know, the experience was dope, but then things just started getting a little bit too much for me too soon. You know.
Okay, I
Yeah.
hear that. I won't push too much. Like I said, some things have to be left for mystery. So then when you get there, who does your eye lock onto immediately? Let your first glance. I'm talking about first glance. I'm not talking about when you got talking. I'm saying when you just your eyes open, bam, and you say, "Whoa, who's that?"
I would say Kelsey and Major. You know, not just one. I
Major's
was
popular, isn't
Yeah, Kelsey and Major for sure is who I had my eye on. You know, coming into the house for sure. When we first seen each other, those were the top two.
Did you get to speak to Major much? Because Major was also Jay's one that he wished he could have spoken to a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it seems like Major's popular.
You know what's crazy is that like, okay, off camera, like me and Major, like we was in I was in their room and we were chopping it up. And she was saying like how we haven't got a chance to go on a date. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like we was we was good to go for that. And then she got eliminated. You know, it was kind of whack, you know. So we was pretty much probably would have been the next date, but it just didn't happen like that.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
Okay, once you get past the first glance, we know that Major and Kelsey are the first glances. Once you start talking, your first conversations with people, right? Who was you feeling then? I know Kelsey was one of them, but well, actually, let me not speak presumptuously. Your first kind of conversation with people at the mixer and stuff like that. Who then came into your eye of like your sight or in your eye line? Yeah, who came in your eye line then?
The first day.
Yeah, you know, the mixer and everything like that.
The
Once you started
first
talking.
the first day I talked to Kelsey, and I think I just talked to Kelsey and Jamie the first day. Those were the only two that, because we were like all in a little group, like it was four of us. And I think that's how, it just ended. Like, I don't know, like I didn't get a chance to like really talk to nobody else. I talked to Kelsey most of the time, and then Jamie was like in our little group that we had that they didn't show. And yeah, those were like the only two that I was conversing with like that the first day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously then, we know obviously we'll leave Kelsey to last, obviously, because I know, you had a good connection there. Was there anyone at Side Major that you wish you had more of a chance to talk to and get to know? Anyone that you wish you could have got to know a bit better?
Let me see. Definitely, I honestly, this like left field, but Jamie. And the reason why I say Jamie is because like just the way she carried herself is like real classy.
Regal.
She wasn't there, putting on the show from what I could see, like she just seemed real authentic, and she like a real cool person. So doing it at the moment, I would definitely say Jamie for sure. Just the way she carried herself is dope to me.
Yeah, I mean, she had great energy, and
Right.
she had a very regal, kind of royal kind of energy about her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Very elevated. It's almost like it's almost to say like I couldn't see her in mess like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't want to. You can't associate, or you can't really see her being in a messy situation. Like that's
Right.
the kind of energy she puts out. So I
Right.
can see what you're saying in that respect.
Real grown, real classy. Like she just carried herself, above the ratchetness, So yeah, definitely
Good
Jamie.
terminology. Good terminology above the
Mm-hmm.
ratchetness. I like that. Okay. So so then obviously now then you're traveling through the process. I know it's quite a short. How was the length of time for you though? Because obviously we get 16-minute episodes. I think all of us thought it was hella short, but again they were putting it on Insta, so I see why. But I mean, how was the length of process for you? Did it feel long? Did it feel short? Like, did it feel like you needed more time? Like, how was the process for you?
In the moment, or you mean was the show too short for me too? Like, what do you mean?
In a moment, did it feel like it was a long process or a short process? How was it for you?
Oh, it was definitely long. It was 12-hour days.
Oh damn.
Yeah, a lot of times, like when we're not on camera, we just gotta sit in the room and just be on our phone and try to make time pass. So they were long. It was long, like literally long hours. That's why it was so surprising to me that the episodes were only like 20 minutes. Like it's so much that they could have shown. I'm not sure if 20 minutes is the cap on IG or Facebook, but it's so much that I think would have made the show 100 times better if they would have showed everything, because we was there all day, So yeah.
Yeah, we agree with that. I think we all felt like that episode was hella short, 16
I,
minutes.
I don't get it. I really don't understand that. Like, why we film for 12 hours just for it to be 16-minute episodes. And I promise you, like, it's so much like footage that they did not show that would have made the show like so much
Fire.
better. Yeah.
Okay, what give us one thing that you wish that was in the show that we saw that we didn't see.
One moment, well, if I'm speaking for myself, me and Tokyo had, this was the day before the last day. No, it wasn't a date. It was, well, yeah, okay. Well, two times. Now that you brought that up, the date, me and Tokyo had some real genuine talks. And I feel like they just missed the opportunity to show Tokyo in a different light, because everybody, see her as, just rah-rah. But like I feel like I brought out a different side of her that I feel like that the audience would have loved to see. It was so genuine, so real, so heartfelt. That's why I'm just like, dang, like why didn't you guys show this side too, you know, give a different perspective. And then there was another moment where me and Tokyo had another conversation due to the fact of me and Kelsey's connection, which was real, genuine, and authentic. And we tackled on, it was like it got pretty real, you know. And I don't know why they didn't show it. They showed it a little glimpse, episode 4 going into episode 5, like the trailer, the sneak peek, but they didn't show it in actual show. I don't get it. So yeah, those two, just 2 times with Tokyo with me and her, I think should have definitely made the cut, and I don't know why it didn't.
You know, they have a narrative they want to fit with
Right.
Tokyo, so they had to probably take that out so it doesn't make her look too good. You know what I mean?
Like
Keep her
the
looking like the villain, so
right,
that you know, people will tune in every other week. As for me, it doesn't help because when you're doing these reviews, you're trying to analyze all the behavior you can see, and they're not giving
right,
us the full story, which means we can only do half the job, really. But yeah, they are catering for a certain audience. That's the problem. They're
right,
not catering for a wholesome audience. These shows never
right.
cater for a wholesome audience.
I,
Otherwise, they would show wholesome content.
I noticed that watching it, because like you will see like in an episode where Kelsey, Tokyo, and Yaz are like all like saying that they interested in me, but nobody got to see why. And I
Yeah.
guess it's because our conversations that I had with Yaz, Kelsey, and Tokyo were never shown. So it was just like, it was like the audience is like, okay, how did that happen? But like you
Yeah.
said, it's like a narrative, you know. So I get it now.
Yeah, I was confused by that because I think one of my reviews I talked about this. I said the date between you and Tokyo. I said, what the heck? I said, I don't know how the heck they got to this point where we're all painting with passion and stuff and talking about romance and stuff. I said, I didn't see this coming out of nowhere. So what's going on? You know what I mean?
Right. And it wasn't out of nowhere in real life. You know, they just didn't want to show the genuine conversations. You know, I think I was honestly, I made a post like I think I was too deep for this show. Honestly, I think I was too much. Like I was getting too deep. I got deep with Kelsey. She got deep with me. I got deep with Yas. She got deep with me, and Tokyo. Like I bring out a different side that I think that it was too much for this type of show, which is why it wasn't displayed. You know.
Yeah, I agree that, to be honest. Yeah, I agree that they have a certain narrative they want to fit, so certain conversations don't fit that as well. So that makes a lot of sense. Okay,
Right.
so then obviously then you know you spoke a little bit about your connection with Tokyo then, and you know we know obviously that you had a connection with Kelsey. What then? What took you? What made you not then go after Tokyo but go after Kelsey then?
With Tokyo, it was more so because of like the comments that she would make. You know, like I didn't know what to believe because we had just met. Like I don't know if it was just for show or if it was really her being honest at times. Like me and her would have a deep conversation, and then you know I would hear her talk about you know being a player and cheating and all this type of stuff, and I'm like, all right, you know, I'm not here for all that. You know, like it would give me like maybe we'll be great friends. But then we'll have another conversation where it's like, okay, she's serious, but then it'll turn to the whole, you know, Birkin bags type situation. You know what I mean? So a lot of that was being displayed in real life. So I kind of was just like, I didn't get that vibe from Kelsey that she was just there for, you know, Birkin bags and cheating and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of what strayed me. But Tokyo's personality, and you know she's pretty as well, is what really drove me in. But just her comments made it me hard to like really just fully engage like that.
I totally understand. Maybe
Yeah.
that's a learning curve for her, you know, in the future as well, you know. But then again, she might have a different agenda. That's why she was there. That's probably why. So, because
Right.
it sounds like you managed to get the real deal out of her, but
Yeah.
she had a dualistic agenda, which is that she's maybe pushing for entertainment, and that's understandable as well. You know, you gotta play your role, and hopefully, you never know what can happen. Doors can open for us. So that's probably why. So. I
Yeah.
get that. I get that 100%. Okay, so I mean, then you know you have a connection with Kelsey. We, as I said, when I did a review, I saw the connection that you guys were sitting on the couch. You guys were having that conversation. It looked real. It looked deep. You know what I'm saying? I think I talked about the body language. I said it felt like you was away with the fairies at the time. So I mean, talk to us a little bit more about the connection with Kelsey and what it was like from your perspective.
That first day,
Yeah.
me and Kelsey had a great, amazing conversation. They didn't show it for whatever reason. We talked about, you know, what we want in a partner. We talked about, you know, things that we went through in life. We got real deep, like the first day. Like, I promise you, we really talked for at least 40, 45 minutes. I think we talked the longest out of any other couple there the first day, like just straight through. Everybody else would talk to multiple people. Me and her had the longest one-on-one time, and it was just genuine. It felt real genuine to me, and I think it felt real genuine to her too.
Love that. So then obviously you guys connect on that first day, you get talking, you get you know, inside each other's head a little bit, you know, you're kind of saying, okay, cool, this could be something, you know. What makes you continue the journey of trying to get to know Kelsey? What was she exuding? What was she giving out that was making you want to return and continue getting to know her?
Her personality. Like, I love her personality. She's real fun, like a real fun person, you know, outlandish, you know, say what's on her mind. She was a dope person. Like, aside from being attractive, like attractive is just physical attraction is just one element, and she tackled all the boxes that I was looking for. Like, honestly.
Okay. Okay. So then obviously, you know, when you guys have to do the whole looking for the like who said what comment, did you ever fear that you guys chose something that Kelsey might have said?
Oh, for the with the little cards?
Yeah.
No. Nah. I think that well, I don't, to be honest, I don't think none of us even thought about it. Like, it was just like we felt like which one was the worst ones was, you know, is what we chose. I don't think initially in the time that we thought about it. I know I didn't. It was like, all right, this is out of pocket. Like, this person has to go, you know. So nah.
Which
I mean,
one was
you
the
were
worst
old.
one?
Huh?
Which one was the worst one that you guys read for you?
I think it was like let me see. Someone here has multiple partners or something like that. That was the worst one. Yeah, definitely. Because it's like, if you got multiple partners, then like, why are you here? It didn't make sense. Yeah, that was
True.
crazy.
True. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Kelsey, like I said, back to Kelsey. Kelsey was an amazing character on the show. I felt a genuineness there as well, a warmth as well that happened. That was emitting from her. The final kind of day, you guys exchange partners. You know, you're having to do a dance routine out here. You know what I'm saying? And then we see you kind of like, you know, whisper to like, you know what I'm saying, trying to make sure that you get your girl. And then you guys get this really deep conversation at the end where, you know, Kelsey really shares some intimate details. You know, what was that night like? Because that was I think if there was one part on the show that really showcased some depth, it was at that moment. You know, there wasn't many of them on the show. Shout out to the show people. I know they got to do what they got to do, but there was one. That was probably one of few moments where we saw some level of depth to the show, where we had a really interesting, real, under the surface conversation between yourself and Kelsey. So I just wanted to get a little bit more of your understanding of that particular situation and that particular moment for you, what you were feeling, what you're thinking, you know, in that moment.
In that moment, I just wanted to hold her. I ain't even going front. Like, I really just wanted to like embrace her and just, you know, let her, like, as I, you know, it surprised me that, you know, she admitted the stuff that she did, you know, especially with the cameras there. You know, she just, you know, kind of just put everything out there. And that was like a real deep moment. And I was just taking it all in because, like I said, and like I told her, I never would have thought that, because like, she carried herself in such a strong, positive, you know, front, like face. That's just that I see. It's just, I never would have expected that, you know. And I'm glad that, you know, she shared that moment with me, and that everybody else got to see that too, you know, see a different side, you know. But yeah, during the moment, I just wanted to hold her and like let her know I'm there for her, you know.
Did you know it was coming? Did you feel it? Did you feel it coming, that kind of conversation, or was it just something that just the flow of the moment?
I felt it was coming because it's like, it's things that we like. Me and her off camera, like we talked a lot, but she didn't like necessarily want to tell me. Like, so I knew, I kind of felt that was the perfect time because it was nighttime and like we was talking. Our date was like a cool little minute. So I'm like, all right, let me see if she's gonna finally express how she feels, because she wouldn't tell me off camera,
Of course.
So yeah, I kind of was expecting it. Well, I was hoping that she would,
Mm.
let loose, and she did, So I wouldn't say expecting it, but I was definitely hoping that she would, get to that point.
Love that. Okay. So then obviously then we have the scenario where you guys are having to, we're seeing who the most compatible couple is. And then there's that moment where Tokyo comes crashing down. And I want to get your position because when I watched it, I didn't even do a review in the end. I just watched it and I said, oh, for faith's sake. I was like, this, and I saw your energy shift and change. And I saw her energy shift and change, almost like because it was two parts, almost like when Tokyo first said it, I saw your energy change. I saw her trying to combat, Tokyo. And then I think she saw your energy kind of shift, and that made her energy kind of shift. And it felt like, from my perspective, reviewing it, like, okay, I think she felt a little bit like, oh, like you don't believe me, kind of thing. So her energy shifted. Then your energy kind of shifted again to kind of say, no, I want to work with you. I want to move forward with you. And then her energy was like, well, if you want to move forward now, we got to have a conversation. It's like there was a few different parts. It was moving a lot. I mean, run us through that scene. That first part. Let me just do the first part. Tokyo says those things. What's running through your head?
I'm just like, I was at a loss for words, I was not expecting that at all, so my reaction was genuine, it's a lot they didn't show, and I'm glad they didn't, but yeah, that moment when she just was just going in like that, it just threw me all the way off, but I get it, and she really felt like I chose Kelsey over her, and she didn't really look at it in a light that I was trying to explain to her. So during that moment, I don't know. I think she just lashed out because ultimately, she felt like I chose somebody over her, and she was the better option. I would assume. That's the only thing I can think of when I look at that and relive that situation.
Did you believe Tokyo though? Because like I said, that's why it got a bit techie. So did you believe Tokyo?
I did. I did. You know why I believed her? Because like me and Tokyo had so much conversations off camera, and on camera, and she opened up so much to me that I wouldn't feel like she would lie about somebody not being interested in me, because I'm just like, okay, you told me this so much of your life that you didn't even have to, we just met. So if you could tell me this, then why on earth would you lie? And then also, it was times where I didn't think that Kelsey was really into me like that. Like I expressed that. I was like, nah, she don't really rock with me like that. I'm not feeling like she's into me as much as I'm into her. And so when Tokyo said that, I somewhat believed her, but I still wanted to see what it do with Kelsey. So I had no issues believing Tokyo because I had my doubts as well when it came to Kelsey.
Okay, so we heard Naeem obviously say as well that Kelsey was open. Is that how you perceived it too?
Yeah, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like, it's a dating show. She should be open, but I let it be known, like, I was like really interested in her, so I was open, but I always had my eye on her. But I didn't really get that she was fully into me like that. You know what I'm saying? Until clearly I seen the show and it seemed like it, but I don't know if that was just for show or for TV or if it was genuine. But I can read women well, you know what I'm saying? I'm not new to this, and I just didn't get that vibe that she was really into me like that, But I think that she was open to the idea and the possibility, but just not fully into it, so yeah.
Are you saying, like, in a sense, for you, you were actually looking at it as, hey, we can actually try and make this work?
Right.
But you weren't feeling that same energy. Like you were feeling that she's open to it and she could go with it, but she's not 100% with it. Like, oh, I'm on this thing. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Right. Because honestly, like I say, after the first day, like me and her didn't really like talk like that. It was kind of weird to me. So I just kind of moved on and just that's when I start, speaking more with I asked Yaz to go on a date with me. And then, of course, Tokyo, because I didn't really get that vibe from Kelsey no more. And then towards the end, is when, Kelsey kind of shifted and, seemed like she was interested. So it just threw me off. And I told her, I was like, it don't even seem like you really into me like that. So I really didn't know what to think.
What was her response at the time when you said it? Because I'm assuming that's a conversation that happened before that last event. So when you had that conversation, what was her kind of perspective?
About me feeling like she's not really interested? She said she was interested, but I kept expressing to her, like, I don't think that you're interested. It just don't feel like it. Like, somebody into
it's
you.
Onto you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether you male or female, somebody into you. Like I say, like, I'm old enough. I've been in relationships. I've dated. I've never had any issues with women. So I know if a woman is interested in me or not. And that's just how I felt. And that's why it wasn't hard for me to believe Tokyo when she said it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was still open to it just because I really genuinely was interested in Kelsey, regardless of what Tokyo said. I was like, okay, maybe I could change her mind, even though I don't feel like she fully into me like that,
So that's really tough then, because I was about to ask a question saying, do you think that Tokyo was then trying to sabotage? But then now I can't actually ask that question because by the information you're giving me, technically she ain't really sabotaging. She's generally actually saying how she feels about the situation, that there may be energy that Kelsey is giving that it's not really showing full deep interest. Do you know what I mean? So because I was gonna say, like, can you be friends with Tokyo after that because she's kind of sabotaged you?
I think it was both. I think it was sabotage because she didn't want a happy ending between us two. Because I was still open, even though I feel like Kelsey wasn't fully I was still open to continuing and getting to know her and go from there. But then also Tokyo liked me. So Tokyo liked me more than she would admit. She probably will admit, she's a genuine person. But so I think it was both. You know what I mean? And me and Tokyo still cool to this day. You know what I'm saying? I got her number. We talk, we text, you know what I'm saying? It's been about a week or two, since I last talked to her. But yeah, we spoken. Like it was no bad blood between me and anybody on that show. It was a dope moment, a dope experience. It was not that deep for me to have issues with nobody. So yeah, it's all love on this end. But I think it was both.
So then how did the conversation go after then? Obviously, when you guys got off screen, you and Kelsey now having to work this conversation out because now you got to have a conversation. Because obviously what's has happened. How did that go down?
I think that it went honestly, I think that the show kind of like messed everything up because it was like, I think if me and Kelsey would have met off of camera, everything would have just flowed smoothly. But the show kind of made it feel like, okay, afterwards, like, okay, so are we together? Are we getting to know each other? Like, what are we doing? It's kind of like, so I would, I think it was like that for her too. Like it was like this gray area. Like we didn't know after the show, like, okay, are we together? Are we not? Like, what are we doing? And I feel like the conversation was over with. We both was interested, you know what I'm saying, after the show. I told her how I felt. She told me how she felt. So that wasn't an issue. You know what I mean? But yeah, the show kind of messed things up though, for sure.
Okay.
Even though we never would have met if it wasn't for the show. But
True. Last few questions then. Do you have any regrets looking back now? Do you have any regrets from the show?
No regret. I think, well, I would say just next time I'm not about to care about if another girl likes me or not. I'm gonna just go focus. And if I were to do another reality show, which I really don't have no intentions on doing, but I would just focus on a girl that I'm genuinely interested in. Like, we only here for a short amount of time. I want to get to know you as much as possible. So I regret not going after, what I wanted from the get-go.
Interesting. Yeah, I hear that. So that's what you would change if you were to go into the next situation then.
Yeah, I would focus solely on Kelsey. That's it.
Okay, well, I like that, man. I like that. Okay, let me ask my last question then about the show. If you were a producer of the show, what would you change? Just one thing about the show.
Um, I would change. Honestly, I would change the eliminations. I think it was a good twist, but I think that, it should be eliminations after we all got a chance to vibe. You know what I'm saying? First, you know what I'm saying? Like, make it to where we pull the cards and then, we already developed some type of bond with somebody. I
Making
don't
it
know, like,
harder. Yeah.
like, it's just like, I get it. You need a twist, but I just think the eliminations was weak. We didn't know it was gonna be eliminations. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to talk to Major, whether she was my match or not. If she would have went home, at least I know I had that connection with her and I can hit her up after the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be satisfied with that, of her going home and us still having some type of interaction afterwards, because we vibed on camera and off camera, but didn't get that experience. So elimination process, I would change that. Like, wait at least 3-4 days or something like that,
And last question now. The experts, for you, how influential were they, and how influential were they in the course of the show?
You mean like if they talk to us and stuff, like, and
Yeah.
they didn't. I mean, they just observed from what I noticed. Like, they just observed, and then that's about it. Like, they didn't really talk to us as far. You know what? At the end, like the last episode, they came and talked to me. But during the whole process, we really didn't talk to them at all. They most observed, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Would you have preferred them to talk a bit more to you if that was course of the show, or do you prefer the way it was?
Nah, I would prefer them to really talk to us, break down, our date to us personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I noticed. This is what I noticed, from you during this date, you seem to connect with him more. Maybe you know what I mean? Like, something like that. Not just observe us and then not tell us, personally on what you noticed between this interaction and that interaction. Kind of like when Jamie and Fully went on a date, they was observing amongst each other and saying, how they feel about that personal date. And then, me and Tokyo, but they never did it to us. They should have did it to us one-on-one, so.
I love that point, bro. Love that point. All right. Captain, is it, we've come to the end, but I wanted to just say, we appreciate you and appreciate, your authenticity that you bring, not only to the show, but also to this interview here as well. I wanted to kind of say, is there anything that you're doing at the moment, any projects, anything you're doing that we can support, get behind, anything you want to let us know what's upcoming as a project? Please let us know if you have.
Yeah, I actually have I'm into fitness. I have a fitness apparel line coming out real soon. I don't want to disclose the name yet. It's trademark though. Just figured that out. I mean, just got that done, should I say. Coming out in January, hopefully. I'm having a shoot next month, hopefully. Cool. And also just more video work. Just staying productive, man, just as much as possible. But yeah, definitely a fitness apparel line coming soon.
Love that. I love that. Okay, cool. Captain, thank you so much. Audience members, thank you so much for joining us for this interview. It's been an amazing conversation, getting to know Keith a little bit better, and knowing his journey through Love Locked. Well, don't run away for the rest of the night. We do have one more interview to do a little bit later on. We'll be having Makai on in about 45 minutes time. And we'll also be asking about his journey. We want to know about the toes, okay? We don't know about them toes, all right? But Keith, once more, thank you so much for authenticity. And hopefully we get to have you on this channel again. It's good to have your rawness. So we'll hopefully have you on here again, bro. All right?
Sure. Appreciate it.
No worries, Cap. Audience, we'll see you again soon. Stay locked and stay loaded. Love.